Nov Clibberhigh friends, Darth Memo here, to talk about one of the major pressing questions of the Star Wars Rebels Season 2 finale, Twilight of the Apprentice. Oh, and by the way, happy Star Wars Day, guys. My thoughts about Ahsoka's death. I think that she did die. One of my reasons is because that one shot at the end of the episode. It seems to show her alive and well. So why is Dave Filoni making a big deal about it? He should have nothing to hide if that was the case. But I think because he is making a big deal, even though the end of the episode did show her like that, she's probably dead. And besides, this is Ahsoka Tano. If she was still alive, she would have gotten back in the fight. That's just her character. She would have gone back to her friends on Atollon, because Maul took the 8th brother's tie, and Vader has his tie. So the ties that belong to the 7th sister and the 5th brother are still there. As well as the fact, if you look at the shot of her going into the temple closely, you can see some mist surrounding Ahsoka. My thoughts? She's a spirit or something, possibly because of the daughter within her. As we know from the Clone Wars Mortis arc, Anakin transferred the light of the daughter into Ahsoka to save her. Dave Filoni has also stated that Vader can't let her go, because nothing changes him till Luke. Quote, I personally have never felt that anything changes Vader until Luke. The Vader that we encounter in Rebels was always meant to be the one devoid of emotions, except for anger, hate, and suffering. That he was trapped inside himself because of the terrible things that happened. Anakin never thinks of himself as betraying his friends. He sees it as his friends betrayed him and the Republic. He has to live on that side of the fence because the truth is just too damning. So he wants to destroy Ahsoka because she represents his past. She represents knowledge of who he was, and he wants to wipe that out. His son represents a potential future because his son wouldn't know who he was. So he could build a new galaxy together with his son. His apprentice is the past, and he needs to destroy her. Close quote. He even says he will kill her. I mean Vader. He says that she will die if she refuses to leave, as this clip so eloquently proves.
Then you will die.
It would be extremely uncharacteristic of Vader to not kill her. Something Disney is trying to do the exact opposite of, such as the works The Siege of Lothal and the Marvel comics have shown. And since it's Disney, Filoni said to kill off a main good character would only happen if absolutely necessary to fit the story. Quote, when we come down to it, Star Wars Rebels is on a cable show, or cable channel meant for children. So would a show like that really even have the option to kill off its main good guy characters? Close quote. Dave Filoni, quote, says, if it serves the story, and the point of the story was to do that, then absolutely yes. We would have to have a really good reason for doing that. It would have to make sense, and it would be something I talked about with my coworkers at Disney XD. But there has to be room for that, or we're not being authentic to Star Wars anymore. Close quote. Ahsoka's death fits with the story, as that is the character of Vader, and it helps to preserve the continuity of the original trilogy. Now, yes, I know that Yoda says to Luke, the last of the Jedi you will be. That doesn't include Ahsoka because, well, Ahsoka is not a Jedi. But also, if she was a Force user, don't you think that Luke would have crossed paths with her sometime throughout the original trilogy to simply train better in the ways of the Force? And also, if she was a big deal, where was she in that one meeting scene in Return of the Jedi? We had a lot of important people there. Akbar, Madine, Mon Mothma, a founding member of the Rebel Alliance. So why was Ahsoka not there? Because she was dead. Now, of course, Filoni did say that Ahsoka's story isn't over. Quote, I would say, while I'm not a huge fan of being tremendously ambiguous as far as what happened, I would say that this is the one case where I think it's alright with Ahsoka to leave things a bit open-ended. You wondered what happened to her before, but you knew she walked away. Now she kind of leaves in a state of conflict. I would just say that there are probably, and I'll give you this as we go back a ways, there are probably more stories to tell with Ahsoka Tano, but I would not believe that would necessarily happen on Star Wars Rebels. Close quote. That doesn't necessarily mean she survived. That just means that the 15-year gap between The Wrong Jedi, when she walked out of the temple, and her re-emergence in the Rebels episode Out of Darkness has a lot of her stories, which will be explored in the novel Ahsoka. Also, one of my main reasons for why Ahsoka did die, simply due to the Mortis arc. Filoni did say that a lot of the truths and the myth about the mythos of Star Wars and the mythology of it all were in the Mortis arc. Well, Anakin did fight Ahsoka in that episode. Or in one of the episodes. And she died. She lost. And she died.
Any suggestions?
Yes, we cut her free.
What is that?
It can kill the sun.
Where did you get that? Give it to me!
Of course, she was resurrected and all that, but could that possibly be hinting at the truth of what would have happened had the Darth Vader and Ahsoka Tano crossed paths? This show was supposed to get much darker this season, and besides Kanan's blindness, it really didn't. The story needs to happen for story purposes. Sorry, Tano fans. I love the character of Ahsoka as much as the next guy, but I'm a bigger fan of the story than character inconsistency for fan service. With that, I leave you to think. Darth Momo, out.